And what's up, freaks? In this video, we're about to get custom with a K. That probably means we're doing it wrong. But we're gonna give it the old didn't go to college try. Are you ready, Gump? Let's go!
To some losses through the process had me furious. But I got eyes on the vision, can't get delirious. Fall in love with the game and then you marry it. I think I married it. This the anthem. If you reckon with it, put your hands up. Yeah, this the anthem. If you get up and get it, put your hands up.
So, what does that mean we have left to do in the engine bay? Well, come over here and I'll show you. Now that we're here, you can see this needs to get welded. There's a fitting down here where the nitrous nozzle is going to go. It had a plug in it. I took the plug out, kind of. Might have messed the threads up. So I need to tap that and make sure that that's good. We got to get the bungs welded on the manifold for the EGT sensors. So then that's going to get coated. This is for sure getting coated. Coated, 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 coated. We got to figure out an overflow bottle. We got to figure out an overflow for the trans dipstick. And then the wiring goes without saying. That's a project from front to back, side to side. But those are the big things I can think of in the engine department. All right, come on back here. You can see this empty box. Now, who's in charge of that? Sorry, had to. Anyway, we do know what we're doing, though. We're going with a 16-volt setup from Detroit Battery Company. So we got that solved. We just haven't gotten the battery yet. Over here, there's a little bit too much room for activities. Not something I would usually say. But part of this video, we're going to be building the puke tank that's going to go here. So if you want to see how that turns out and possibly get a hold of your own from Boosted Fabrication, stay tuned. Now, if you'll step into the daggum office for a second, Gump, let's talk about upgrades. Well, I want to upgrade the roll cage to a 10-point. Of course, got to mount the Nexus and the can hubs and all that stuff, which is going to be about meh. And the wiring goes without saying every time, because again, front to back, the sucker's getting wired. I'm telling y'all, I'm sick of the 30-year-old wiring. I'm so excited to not have to deal with that. So, those are the office upgrades. Gumpy is telling me it's time for a ball break. There is kind of a weird issue with the brake on this side. I don't know if it needs a washer, spacer for adjustment. I don't know if I didn't grind that hub down enough. I'm trying to see as I look in here, but it's something I have to dig into. And then really it boils down to the fluids. Got to make sure the fluids are good and in the car. I don't have anything right now. I just put it all on. So I got to get all that. I do got to get a new oil filter, but man, we're getting close. Anyway, let's jump into actually working on the car. So our next little conundrum is going to be getting that filler hose on. I mean, the other hose, the breather hose, is going to be fine. I think that one reaches just fine, but I am going to loosen the bolts here and here just to give it some wiggle room and get it on there safely, and then I'll pull the hose back on. Not the hose back on, I'll pull the filler tube back on and place it where it goes. So, not ideal, but I mean, it is just the filler hose. It's not like it's going to cause feed issues, but I just want to make sure it goes into the tank. And then also, I mean, like, what are you going to, what else are you going to do? Route it through here, and then it's going to kink to get up there. I don't really know the move to make there. But I mean, it's safe, it's connected properly. I got it connected everywhere else. So I feel like for right now, that is the move to make. So I'm out here. It's April 2nd. And right now, we don't have power. But I did get the double AN fitting in. Money. One side's longer than the other. Har, har, har. See, it's definitely going to be some modification needed either way. The holes are going to have to be widened for the fitting to go all the way through, even if I put the long side out. So I'm either going to have to dent here. So maybe I'm being a little anal on wanting that to be from the other side. Like on this side, so you see the square part when you see the bolts pull through. I went ahead and made this easy on myself. Took the dash out of the way. This is where the dual bulkhead's going to go through for the catch can. I'm hoping that the tape has just enough space. Perfecto. Yeah, you don't hear me say that often. Then I'll just build a market. I'm going to try to just use the top two bolts because down here on the outside it gets a little crooked and weird, and I don't want to have to mess with that. Hoping it looks clean with just the top two. My OCD might get crazy. We'll find out. Perfect. Right on the edge of that lip to make drilling it just that much more frickin' challenging. I was hoping that would happen. So ever since the very beginning, I've wanted to bolt that bulkhead from this side. I just thought it would look cleaner. The other side was flat, but I was able to take the template and without ruining too much paint or anything like that, just kind of suck it in. I was gonna heat it up, but all I had was a real torch and nothing felt right. So I think that's pretty daggum good. It's pretty even on both sides. There's a little tiny gap, but that's more just because that hole was that big to begin with. Not sure that that's really a huge deal, but overall, very happy with how that turned out. I definitely think that looks a lot better like that than the other way. I don't know, just to me. But I'll be honest with you, with the hardware there on this side, it already looks tight for the fittings. I mean, with the AN fittings on this side, it's gonna be real tight with those nuts there, but I guess it just depends on how much it has to go on. All right, so now I guess the next question is, how much slack do I want in these and how do I want to run them? I'm thinking I'm gonna try to keep it so that they just 90 off there, and then simple enough. That's about a 90 and that's about to the fitting, so. In the last video, I just got AN wrenches and I talked about an impact trick with the AN fitting to get started. This is my struggle bus spot. It's not that complicated, but I didn't show it. I just told y'all I learned it. I mean, there's videos out there, so you could have looked it up, but just like normal, get the daggum thing on there. Boom. Bro, that's such a game changer. Seriously, that's money. Kind of just thought on this on the fly, but I thought this would be a way to train the AN lines because, you know, usually once they stay somewhere for a certain amount of time. But that's pretty much where I want them. That's pretty dialed. Yeah, I like that. On my old car, I had just an OEM throttle body cable, you know, ran it off the Magnus just like you do OEM. This cable's already been modified, though, to work with the RMR bracket, but my throttle body didn't have one. Or the little plate stop. So I ordered both of those, but now I got to find some hardware. Shouldn't be too hard. Pretty stoked to not have all that extra cable running. So like most things around here, that turned into a thing, but it's not the right hardware, but it'll work. It's not heavy, so I'm not mad at it. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Around here, that's a lot. And with the car being so close to finally running, it was time to do the final nut and bolt checks and install the axles. One of the things we didn't talk about, because it's not on the car, is the daggum catch pan. It got a little burritoed from the old Accidento, so we're gonna try to flatten her out and see if we can make it work, which I'm pretty sure we can, but it's gonna need some stuff welding. And I also forgot that the dump tubes for the wastegates are not made yet. So again, we still got a lot to do, but I think we can do it. We made it this far, you know what I'm saying? Right, Gump? Gumpy don't give a crap about what I'm saying. He just wants to play ball. But we're gonna do what Curtis says, get started on that daggum puke tank, and we're gonna go CAD. Cardboard aided design. You ready, Gum? Let's go. All right, it might not look like it, but I promise this is the start of a burn down tank. I don't have to know what I'm doing. I just have to get a good layout. And my boy over at Boosted Fab, Curtis, he's about to square me all the way. Pretty excited to actually take this on though. Don't have a clue what I'm doing, but we'll figure it out. Okay, so admittedly, I got a little wound up in what I was doing, and I didn't really film any of it. The process is fairly simple, so there's that, but kind of got a catch can started, or a burn down tank, whatever you like to call it. These are the 2 hole options where there's already holes. So I was thinking those could be options. Not that I couldn't add another hole, I was just trying to avoid it. So anyway, I'm thinking, this ain't gonna have no flex to it, obviously. I don't know what the options are here. I know what the options are. I don't know what makes sense. My one thought process is to have a bracket that comes off here, and then it bolts here, and then I'm using factory tabs. I think that's the most secure route. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. And I'm thinking this is going to end up with a long slot here. That way, you can have the maneuverability it'll need when you get it to here. It'll help you push that in and then slide that in. That's my thought. Hear me out. Forgive my filming, but this is slotted. These are just there to make sure that it keeps the 90 to see if this will even work in theory. I'm sure that hole will be a little bigger. But, oh geez, my lid's coming off. So this will set like so. Obviously, I'm trying to act like this can't move. And then that will line up there. And this will be in the slot. Maybe. So that way, I can push this the rest of the way in, which it's not. And then it'll tighten like that. Just went and got this from the side of the barn. And I'm gonna cut off a piece of it and push it up from the bottom and use that as, like, you know, the drain tube guide. Still not sure exactly what I'll do there either, but progress is being had. So here was my 2 hole options. I like this one, honestly. It's just a little further out and it'll give me room to drain the oil, or however I decide to do it. So I don't got much to trim off. I might shove this through another piece of cardboard and tape it on there exactly where it's supposed to go, just to give it extra, you know, sturdiness with the template. Yeah, something just like that. I think once the tabs are all welded on the box, I'll be able to, you know, shape them a little bit if I need to have some wiggle room, but pretty dialed. And again, I don't know exactly what I'm going to run here. We'll figure that out later. All right, so I wasn't really sure what kind of event I wanted to run, but in my head, the smaller the option, the better. And I'm thinking I'm going to run a 6AN line, and they got like little shutoffs. It's just like a peacock. Oh, it's a rooster. Shit! Anyway, it's one of the daggum things that shuts stuff off, just like everybody else has on their drain can. So I might run a little 6AN line to that little shutoff. It might get a little over the top, but again, I think it'll be worth it. It'll make it simple. It'll make it, no, actually, it's not simple. It's complicated. Anyway, it's what I daggum think I want to do, and I'm going to try it. How about that? No more debating. Trying it out. Now, obviously, later on, it'll just be a bung welded in, but looks something like that. And again, it gives me more clearance to get the can in and out. So I'm thinking something like that. That'll be for the vent, and that'll be for the tube from the valve cover. All right, so I am at the shop. We're about to buzz this off so that this can be welded on. This is super simple. One downfall right now is I just found out that the nitrous nozzle is a 16th NPT, and I don't have any bungs for that. So we're gonna be a day late and $1 short on that, but we're gonna make do with what we got. We're gonna go ahead and get this job done. Magic, the pipe is welded and installed. So boom, that's all the progress for now. Right now is just a lot of final touches, a lot of ordering fittings, ordering sensors, ordering all the stuff we need, because we're getting so close to the car getting wired and fired up. Are you fired up, Gump? I hope you guys are fired up about something. I genuinely hope you're doing something that excites you in this life. It is so short. How's the progress going on your build? You wrenching on it? I sure hope so, because if you're not, it's not getting done. So if you guys want to find out what's about to come with the car, you'll have to stick around and come to the next video. If you haven't already, go check out some of our old ones. And as always, I encourage you to be just like Gumpy is with his ball. Get out there, get outside your daggone comfort zone, feed dreams and start fears, y'all.